Kitchens are great places to exercise if you've got quite a big kitchen like I have. So today I'm going to show you some hip opening exercises because a lot of people suffer from tight hips, and I mean suffer. It can be really painful. So first of all we need to mobilise, in other words move them around, the ball and socket joint here. So I'm going to hold my tummy in, roll my shoulders back, put my hands behind me, bend my knees gently and relax my thighs and just move my knees side to side. Trying to keep my pelvis still and sitting as tall as I can. So I'm getting the ball and socket joint moving, releasing synovial fluid, which is what happens in our bodies when we do repetitive motions. It's kind of like an oiling system for our joints. Again, just sitting, but you can do this standing or sitting in a chair. I'm just doing one leg at a time. So just circling it around and out, tummy muscles in to help support you back. And I've got my hands behind. If you wanted to make this into a core exercise, you could try it without your hands behind. Just getting that lovely circle, getting the arms to join in here, and it really is working my core. But obviously, there are ways to make it easier, putting one hand behind to support you each time and just doing one arm circle, or just keeping the arms behind you for support the whole time. But I'm still using my tummy muscles. You'll feel your thighs joining in because when your abs are working in this kind of movement, your thighs want to take over. Try and relax your thighs as best you can. Okay, now the next move is going to stretch out the thighs. So if you are feeling that the thighs are a little tense after that, we're going to stretch them out and at the same time open up the hips a little more. So I'm just going to bum walk, keeping my tummy in, a little bit forward so I've got some space behind me. And I'm going to curl down onto the mat or the floor, just turning so you can see. I'm putting my heels under my knees, so try to get your knees quite bent, about hip width apart. I'm going to take the arms above my head so you can see what's going on, but I'm just going to scoop my pelvis and curl up, lifting the bottom and the back without shrugging my shoulders. Push the hips up, press my feet into the floor, pull my tummy in and squeeze my bum. It's just getting a nice stretch through the hips there. And then I'm going to roll back down. I'm going to go up again. Do the same thing. So it's also mobilising the spine as well as stretching through the thighs, the front of your thighs and your hip flexors. Use your tummy and you can have your hands by your side to give you a bit of support. Once you get to the top this time, I'm going to take my hands here, just move one leg out to the side and back in, and then the other leg out to the side and back in. So you'll be lifting your big toe off each time you do it, sort of tilting your foot outwards. That's it, just getting some nice movement. Try both legs together, just widening the knees. That's it. Again, just kind of oiling that ball and socket joint and then coming down and just straightening out your legs, giving a bit of a wobble and coming back up to sitting. Okay, next one, to stretch out the hips. I'm going to take one leg in front, and you don't want to take this knee too far over. So try and keep it above the ankle or at least behind the toes. Stretching here into your hip flexor. It's a really good one. And what you can do, if you can get that far, is to rotate towards the back leg on the same side as the back leg and then rotate the other way. But if you're struggling to get into that position, you can just do it like that. So there's always ways to make it easier. It's harder to rotate towards the front leg than it is the back leg. It's harder to balance. You can put your hands down, you can put blocks here or a pile of books and just ease into that hip flexor stretch without taking that knee too far forward, remember. And then you can even stretch your hamstring on the front leg, the back of your front leg. Okay, of course, I'm going to change sides, so do that very carefully. So a right angle more or less at the knee, and then of course you take that knee forward. Mine's got a bit in front of the toe, so I'm going to take that foot forward so that it doesn't go so far. So it's a really nice feeling, stretching the hip flexor in the back leg. By the way, if it's hurting your knee, just put a sponge or a folded up towel underneath that knee. And if you need to be up here, that's fine. So I'm going to rotate towards the back leg, same side as the back leg, taking my time, and then the front leg. And again, But remember, you can do it up here. It is quite hard to balance. Harder to balance when you're higher up, when you've not got your hands on the floor. And stretching into the hamstring. Always trying to keep my tummy in, always trying to keep my shoulders back, so thinking about my posture. And this butterfly stretch. So we're aiming to try and get the knees to the floor. If you're up here, again, don't worry, it takes time. And we're trying to get the feet as close as possible. So again, we can get that lovely movement in the ball and socket joint by widening the knees, gently pressing the knees wide with the elbows, and then bringing the knees together. So you can actually do this lying down if you prefer. So just moving between those two positions, breathing as you go, it's quite relaxing. Probably better sitting up. Once you've done that, try leaning forwards into it, and then try extending the legs. Now again, this is going to make you want to clench your thighs, so try and keep them nice and relaxed, and take your hands behind to give you a little push, stretching into the adductors here, the inner thighs. But also, just even though we're flexing the hip, it's still a great stretch. Stretching into the inner thighs, we're stretching into the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. We're stretching into the lower back as well. So it's a nice little stretch to include. So you can go from here to here, back to the butterfly, and then to that one. So you can move between the three, or the four, the ball shape as well. So all this movement of the ball and socket joint is going to help the hips open out. I'm just going to stretch the thighs by leaning to one side and holding my foot, or you can hold your sock or your trousers towards your bottom at the back, pushing forward into that hip flexor. And then if you can, and this is another one that's quite tricky, put one foot, if you can get it above the knee, that's great. Hands behind. If you can't, just put it below the knee or wherever you can get it, and just come up as far as you can, sliding the lower leg into a bent position. But you get a beautiful stretch here. But of course, it does depend on how much you can open your hips. But if you do the other exercises, the other stretches and exercises, you'll be more able to open your hips more. You can come down onto your elbows, you can do it lying down. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed my hip opener class, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh yeah, and just to add, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to my channel. It's completely free. You've just got to click on the subscribe button. Also, if you give the video a like, that would be really good, and share the video with any friends who you think would benefit from it. See you next time.